Good morning, everyone. It's very nice to be here. The previous presentation talked a lot about how to monetize on the existing information we have, how to, do this mining, how to open up our capabilities so that others can, fully leverage the potential of the super fast broadband network we have. From a vendor perspective, we also see a great value in that place. We also would like to share with us, with our audience today, what are the potentials to monetize not just the analytics of data, but also the broadband network capability itself. We'll also share with you some of the interesting business cases we have seen in other parts of the world. Crossover is happening now everywhere in the industry. So when we say monetize, the telco traditionally only do monetization based on connectivity or sometimes based on voice, text. However, looking ahead of us, we see a huge potential to consolidate a lot of products in the same package. That's something we call fixed and mobile convergence, but at the 2.0 time. FMC 1.0 was proposed back in 2005 and 2006 by people like BT and Orange. It's mainly talking about have seamless voice handover between the fixed network and mobile network. Of course, at voice time, mobile has a clear advantage. But now, when we are looking at smartphone applications, how many of you would spend time watching video while you are driving? That's too dangerous, right? So more or less today, most of the very heavy data usage behavior happens while you're not in a highly moving status. So this created a clear advantage for fixed broadband. Today, although we have a lot of very big industry buzz about mobile internet, but mobile internet is more than just internet from the mobile broadband. It's internet from mobile devices, which also have a Wi-Fi connectivity. So that's why earlier we say there is a heterogeneous access network taking care of both the FBB and MBB, getting the customers always best connected. So that's the traditional ABC issue. So this is what Telefonica has been doing back in 1 year ago, almost 1 year ago. In the last quarter of 2012, they launched the so-called Movie Star Fusion package. Basically, it's one package combining all the FBB, MBB, and also voice, data, video into the same package. It has been a very big success for them in the market because compared to the competitors, they have better FBB network. Their mobile network is #2, but the gap is not that significant. So this kind of marketing campaign helped Telefonica in Spain to quickly gain more than 1 million subscribers in the Movie Star Fusion package in less than 1 quarter. So that's a very big success for them. It's also a big headache for Vodafone. So that's why right now you see Vodafone is very active in getting into the fixed broadband in almost all the important countries they have operations. In Germany, they spend more than, I guess, $10 billion to buy the biggest cable operator in Germany called Cable Deutschland Group. In UK, they bought Cable and Wireless, the previously second largest fixed broadband operator in UK. In Italy, they're now into fixed broadband with potential acquisition of another operator. In Spain, this year, new update is in Spain, they bought the local cable operator, #1 in Spain, called Ono. So as you can see, Vodafone, being the largest mobile operator in the world with not much fixed broadband footprint, started to invest heavily into the fixed broadband. And they're not alone. In France, we see recently an announcement of a merge between Numérique Cable, basically the local cable operator, and SFR, the second largest mobile operator in France. This also happens in China with China Mobile doing a lot of FBB deployment with Indosat, AIS. These are ongoing activities. At the same time, we see a huge bandwidth pressure. So I guess we're better off here in Asia, especially in Singapore and other countries, because high-speed broadband is already in place. However, back in Europe, I think in the last 5 years, people have been spending too much time debating should they do FTTH or FTTC. So I guess Europe is not as, I would say, moving not as fast as we have here in Asia. But recently, things are moving much faster and in the internet domain, because now Netflix is getting into almost all the key countries in Europe. This is going to bring huge pressure for them. For example, in Germany, one of the reasons that Cable Deutschland Group is becoming so popular is Netflix is going to get into Germany. And clearly, their cable network will have a better advantage in terms of bandwidth compared to the DSL, because in Germany, many people live in a suburban area. The copper loop is relatively longer than needed to sustain Netflix service. Many of the Dutch telecom customers only have 2 meg to 4 meg broadband connectivity. So this has created huge pressure for them to increase their bandwidth. So we can see here that 2 things are driving the development of broadband. One is, of course, on the demand side, right? And secondly, the competition between telcos, MSO companies, try to win more and more market share. Now that competition and demand are driving the rollout of broadband first infrastructure, plus, in some countries, government have a lot of strategic plan or pressure for the telcos to go ahead with super fast broadband deployment. How can we better monetize the network we have? Okay. I think that's the very important question we have here today. Fundamentally, everyone needs to be very strong in connectivity so that we can continue to maintain our customer base and get more and more market share. But based on that, what's the next step? BT has done a very interesting business move in that they're adding on top of the super fast broadband offering, the BT Sports and other video offering. Okay. So they spend £1 billion acquiring the exclusive rights for UK Rugby and Premier League. They even beat Sky, who for a long time has been taking that right. That has been proven to be very successful because this, number one, has helped them to increase the super fast broadband take-up rate. Okay. Second, this by itself is a good OTT service from BT. In their marketing package, BT Sports in standard definition TV is free for super fast broadband customers, and £2 or £3 extra for those who want to watch high definition TV of the BT Sports. They also wholesale the BT Sports content as OTT service to other people like Virgin Media. Okay. I don't have the latest number this month, but as of January of 2014, they had roughly 4 million BT Sports subscribers, 2 million from their own on-net subscriber base, and 2 million through the wholesale relationship from Virgin Media. This has also helped them to significantly increase their broadband and TV revenue stream. BT, without mobile operation for a long time, has been suffering from a declining overall top line. But this success with BT Sports and therefore super fast broadband has actually helped them to turn around the company's business, especially in the consumer area. They are now regaining the momentum in the local market. So this is a very good example of how we can leverage the existing customer base in the connectivity area. And then on top of that, we can upsell into new territories. Okay. A similar example in China is in the internet industry. Okay. Alibaba, the biggest online e-commerce company in China, they have an Alipay service, okay, which is basically the PayPal or online payment service. Obviously, they have a lot of accounts, a lot of existing customer base, and many of them would have some remaining balance in the Alipay account day to day. So Alibaba and Alipay decided to launch mutual fund. Okay. Basically, they're selling a mutual fund to the Alipay customers. Okay. In Chinese, it's called Yuebao. You can translate that in called leftover treasure. So it helps its Alipay account owners to dig into the potential of whatever money they left as a balance in Alipay. Previously, such mutual fund investment is only available to those who have certain level of money to invest, right? But suddenly now this is available to anyone who have even 100 Chinese dollars in their account. They're also doing very smart customer experience management. Every day, if you open up your account on PC or on your handset, they will give you immediate rewards telling you, okay, how much money you have earned yesterday and overall since you have invested in this Alipay mutual fund. Okay. So when you do upsell, don't do it too hard. Okay. It should be also something that bring a better user experience, that customer feeling is very good. So this one from Alipay has been also very successful. As of last month, according to my research, it's the 4th largest mutual fund in the world. The total size of the fund is right now 500 billion CNY, Chinese currency. So that's $500 billion, right? It's amazing. So crossover, upsell is something that is very, very important. So we can consider how we can better leverage our existing customer base. Now, yet another example, probably even further developed, is not just monetize on the existing customer base, but also how to monetize on the capabilities we have. This is actually 2 real stories in China. One is China Telecom in the province called Fujian. It's fairly big compared to other countries. So they have each provincial companies. They have a partnership with a company, online content company called Sunder. Okay. On Sunder's user interface, there is a button called accelerate, okay, or boost. Once you push that button, then you get charged extra 20 CNY each month. And then you can enjoy very high-speed download, media streaming from this online content company. So this is similar to what they have been doing in the US in Comcast and Netflix relationship or other kind of relationship. So this way it helps to optimize the user experience by combining the effort in both the application domain and software layer from the content provider's infrastructure and from the network infrastructure where the telco can help to increase bandwidth. So this has been a very successful project for this company and this relationship. So now China Telecom Group is in the process to replicate that success in other part of the country. Now another very interesting example is home gateways or home routers. Now people observe that when everyone is moving away from PC, and more spend time on tablet and smartphone. Okay. PC becomes a backup storage place. But now if you think, why do you still need to keep a PC at home at all? So if you have a physical or virtualized storage or hard disk connect to your home gateway, right? Then you don't need a PC anyway. You can just fully leverage the potential of local storage and, more importantly, the unlimited virtualized storage that is solely designed for you. Okay. It's not cloud storage service when people will perceive potential security concerns, but with this virtualized network attached storage. Okay. It's a very important upgrade. But when China Telecom did this, they decided not to do it all on their own. They're working with some other companies in the CPE domain. Plus, they have invited other companies to install apps, because this is an Android-based platform. They invite other people to pre-install their apps. For example, we have a online virus protection company who is very keen to install their app on this home gateway with enhanced capabilities. And they pay China Telecom to do so. So this is yet another example that we can learn from the internet business models. Right? The typical Google search engine business model is the subscriber pay no money, but it's sponsored by some other people. Okay. Now, when we look at the home networks, when we look at the broadband services, this is also something we can play with. Okay. And China Telecom is also doing that. I think there is even more potential in the next 5 to 10 years. Historically, we see the uprising of PC-based internet, which is mainly designed for professionals with a good knowledge in the IT domain. Now, smartphone and mobile tablet are creating a new wave of the so-called mobile internet. We see in the coming years the TV internet. The TV internet actually has more potential in the business models and monetization capabilities. Because if you compare that with the PC and with the mobile internet, okay, TV internet have a much bigger screen, and customers' mindset is very different. Mobile internet is mainly targeting their fragmented time on the road, while TV internet is mainly targeting home time. And when you sit down in front of a TV, you expect to spend the next at least 30 minutes and sometimes 2 hours, okay, with this TV screen. Okay. So you have more attention to it. TV screen also have a much bigger display space, so make it easier for pop-up ads or scroll bar ads. While on mobile internet, it's actually pretty difficult to do this kind of advertisement. And also, you could imagine you can, in the future, come up with 4K ultra-high definition TV and holographic kind of applications to help with online shopping. Okay. So today, my wife, she does a lot of online shopping. It works fine with other things, but not with clothes. Ladies, they need to go wear them, try them. So many times, the picture looks great on the website. But when the goods really arrives, it sucks when the ladies try them on. But imagine in the future with TV internet with such big screen, you can really do a virtual fitting room. Right? So there's huge potential coming, and we just start to see the beginning of that. 4K ultra high definition TV is now almost going to reach the $1,500 US kind of benchmark, where it's going to become a commodity for every family. Okay. Content-wise, there are a lot of people who are very eager to cash in on the 4K format. For example, Sony, with the Columbia Pictures library of all the movies, is keen to deliver the 4K version of the content to help them monetize on the existing library. And also, we learned that the coming Olympic Games and football World Cup in Brazil, they will all have coverage based on 4K. And you probably know that Netflix has a 4K version of their House of Cards, which is already available in the commercial market. Initially, because most of the bandwidth in the US is not up to the high standard, so they have somehow downgraded the picture quality to consume less than 15 meg bps. But as more and more subscriber goes to Ultra-Broadband, 50 meg, 100 meg, 1 gig, you will see better and better picture quality based on ultra-high definition TV in 4K, in 8K, and in the future with holographic and other kind of amazing new presentation technologies. So what we see in the industry is that fixed and mobile broadband are really coming together, but more importantly, content is critical for us to better monetize the network investment we already have. there are many, many business models that is potentially available, and some other telcos are doing something interesting, try to achieve on that front. So from Huawei side, since last year we have been talking about the business-oriented, the business opportunity-oriented strategies and tactics. Really, the network infrastructure is more or less in place. If they're not there yet, it will be in the next 5 years. So now we should spend more time talking about how to monetize that. A few things. First, we need to provide the so-called broadband salami. Broadband network or connectivity as a pipe means nothing to the consumers if you don't have content in the pipe. So in a metaphor, you need to put the meat into the pipe to make it a salami. Right? In order to do that, there are two ways. One is you can work with the traditional content providers like BT has been doing. The other way is the China Telecom way to start more engagement with OTT content providers using their content. The good part of that is probably they won't ask you much upfront fee like BT just did. They spend so much money on that. But they will, working together with you to bring up a better optimized user experiences, therefore creating more value and share the value amongst the telco and OTT side. So in the case of relationship between China Telecom and Thunder Download, they actually share the 20 CNY monthly extra revenue 50-50. On demand. Okay. Today, technology is in place to offer 1 gigabit performance. But does customers really need that today? Probably not yet. Okay. But of course, for competition reasons, some telcos have to launch, gigabit. Okay. In the US, after Google Fiber launched the gigabit service, then CenturyLink, AT&T, they all announced 1 gigabit service or product. But how many subscribers will, really subscribe to it? I think it's something not very clear for the moment. Okay. As a vendor, we provide the technology to give you more than just 1 gig. If you need 10 gig, we have it. Okay. But the thing is, if we're looking at economics, maybe we should do it in a more on-demand approach, okay, so that we don't lose the future revenue growth potential by doing a cutthroat, bandwidth-based competition in the field, overselling, the bandwidth that the customers don't really need today. Okay. So on-demand business approach is something that can help us to really have a long-term sustainable development. Synergy, as I mentioned earlier, fixed broadband and mobile broadband, they all come together. Initially as one bill single package, but there are also more interesting scenarios. I'll show you here. So obviously, unified service in one package helps to reduce the customer churns in both the fixed and mobile subscription base. So that's very clear. Now, an even more advanced version of the synergy between FBB and MBB is something we call the hybrid access or bonding access. FBB and MBB, they all have their own pros and cons. Okay. FBB is very reliable, and typically there is unlimited download without cap for data usage. But the challenge there is the bursty peak performance is not as good as people advertise for LTE. Okay. On the other side, LTE is very good dealing with bursty traffic, but the business case is not really in place if you offer unlimited download over LTE connectivity. Bonding access actually combine the virtues of both. Okay. So in this typical scenario where you combine both the FBB and MBB, there is algorithm that help you to always prefer to go through the FBB connectivity. But if there is extra peak traffic, then you can overflow that to LTE. Okay. So this way we can combine the advantage of both connectivity and offer your customers a better option for broadband connectivity. More than that, as we all know, if the FBB connectivity is not in place yet, typically it takes 1 month, sometimes maybe 3 months or even 6 months to get it rolled out in place. in terms of time to market, MBB has a clear advantage. Once you roll out the mobile towers, the coverage is in place. Mail in a SIM card and a terminal device, then it's very easy for you to quickly connect to a new subscriber. So this combination is also very helpful. For example, DT is now thinking of using the hybrid, the bonding access as a package for its customers. But in the initial 1 month or 3 months, use a LTE-only connectivity. So this helps them to have time to market advantage, right? So if their customer walking into a DT store saying, I need super fast broadband so that I can watch Netflix next day, right? Previously, they have to tell the customer to wait for weeks, months, to verify the loop. If necessary, they also need to work on digging the trench. But now with bonding access, it's very easy for them. They can just say, you go home yesterday, you will have the super fast connectivity at home. Okay? Customer does not have to know which physical technology has been used. All they need to know is I have the connectivity. And then when the copper bond or the fiber is ready in 3 months or in 3 weeks, they can just quietly turn on the fixed link. Okay? So this is another example of how we can find the complementary synergy between the FBB and MBB. There are also a lot of practical issues. For a mobile operator who never had much experience developing the fixed broadband infrastructure, a key challenge is the entry strategy. Okay? So if you look at the market, typically the general practice is you do almost universal coverage. Okay? But that's only because those incumbent operators, they have the liability, they have the responsibility to do universal coverage. For mobile guys like China Mobile or Vodafone, they don't have to do a complete coverage of the whole nation or even the whole city. They only need to cover the cherry-picking kind of strategy, right? Only cover those high-end markets. Okay. Also, typically, they don't have much backhaul fiber. Okay. Then there are 2 options. One is you can just first prioritize, right? Develop those markets that is along your optical route to reuse the optical for mobile backhaul that you already deployed in place. Now, if that's not enough, you could use microwave to do the backhaul. Driven by MBB deployment, E-band microwave, V-band microwave, they're all now very powerful. They can offer 10 gig and in the next few years, 100 gig. Okay. Now think about a few years ago, 10 gig is still only available on fiber as a very treasured resource, right? But now it's available over all the microwave resources. So there are a number of optimizations you could do with how you deploy your fixed broadband network. We call that a FBB light deployment model. Okay. No need for universal coverage, but more targeted, less trenching, less digging. Quickly roll out the service, get customer connected, get the money back so that you can quickly expand on continuous but small-scale success. So this is another example about hybrid access strategy, how to reuse the 4G connectivity and XDSL, right? I mentioned that already. But I think it's there's also another aspect I did not mention earlier, which is the upload speed. Typically, especially with ADSL, the upload speed is very limited. Okay? But LTE actually has a better potential in that space. So this is something else we can also try to find out how to monetize the capabilities with this kind of hybrid strategy. Okay? Now moving on, talking about the potential working with the content side. Especially the OTT content side. In the last few years, there has been a lot of, I would say, complaint that OTT making most of the money. We put too much money building up the network, but not with much reward. a lot of complaint. Even there was some proposal to the EU Commission to force the American-based OTT content players to pay tax in Europe. Things like that. Very wild ideas. But in the last 6 months, we sense that there is a change in the tones, because more and more the telco industry realize that OTT are not competitors. They're your friends, actually, more or less friends, but maybe they don't seem so friendly initially. Okay. Clearly, they're taking away a lot of voice and text revenue, but at the same time, they're also driving the take-up of super-fast broadband, more and more data consumption and usage. Right? So Tony yesterday shared with me a very interesting metaphor that, okay, the telcos, they're like the father of the daughter, and then the OTTs, they're like the husband of your daughter. Okay. So you have this very strange relationship. But the thing is, the consumers, your daughter, she fall in love with this young man. Right? So the relationship is sweet and bitter, but it's part of the family. You have to deal with it. You have to live along with him. Okay. Same thing here for the relationship between telco, OTT, and consumers. Okay. Because without the OTT content, consumers will not appreciate the value of the broadband service. Okay. So it's less about killing the OTT wolf. It's more about dancing with the OTT wolves. And there is room for us to play. For example, you could monetize, as I mentioned earlier, the download uplink, the downlink speed, and also uplink speed. Yesterday, I heard that My Republic here in Singapore, they have a low latency connectivity for game players, and can charge for that low latency special service. Other possibilities, as I mentioned earlier as well, user channels. Many OTT content players are in very hard financial conditions because their business case used to be purely based on advertisement revenue, which is very difficult if they don't have big enough customer base. And typically these are startup companies that come and go, so they don't have time and the energy and the resource to develop their own channels. Okay. Telco could serve as a perfect channel partner for them. We see a lot of that activity in China and in other markets. Okay. This not only expands the revenue potential for the advertisement, it also brings them more and more VIP customers who are paying. Okay. In some analysis, we see that with telcos as a channel partner, you have a much higher percentage of VIP customers who are really paying. Okay. Because if things are coming out as an internet package, people perceive that as something that should be free. Okay. But if that's coming as part of the telco package, people are, feel that they should pay for it, more or less. So there is a lot of room for us to play, and we also need to find more interesting ways to monetize. Right? So let's learn from the internet industry. So typically there are a few models. In the Tencent model, QQ, or the equivalent of Facebook in China, basically. It's a freemium, okay? Free basic service, but charge on premium value-added service. Okay? So how about, maybe it's a very wild idea, how about free broadband, okay, up to certain speed, and then charge only on those of even higher speed, okay? Or free on basic broadband connectivity, and then charge on the extra bandwidth combined with high definition TV or 4K ultra high definition TV content. In the US, Google Fiber does offer free Google Fiber service. Okay. That's for those markets where they already have the home passing, so the incremental cost to connect an extra customer is not that huge. And also they charge customer a one-time installation fee. And of course there are restrictions on the bandwidth connectivity. Okay. But people are doing this. Okay. Now let's think, what can you do here in your market? Okay. maybe not 100% free, but we can think about how to create more and more user consumption behavior and then monetize in the next steps. Okay. The Google model is a typical sponsorship revenue. Okay. So maybe your customer is not paying. It's free for your customer, and you don't have to pay as well. Okay, you don't have to pay anyway. Maybe someone else could pay for your investment. Okay. Sponsorship. And this Alipay leftover treasure is another example I mentioned. It's an upsell, okay. Upselling into new territories. Ecosystem. Okay. Today in China, there is huge battle between the two ecosystems. One led and driven by Alibaba, including everything, cover your everyday life. And then the other one is driven by Tencent. Okay. So if you're traveling in China, if you try to go to get a taxi, okay, there are two competing taxi booking applications. Okay, one is from the Alibaba ecosystem. One is from the Tencent camp. Okay, in order to compete, to get more market share, get more customer base, they even subsidize the taxi drivers. Okay, so I got and also the passengers. So I, on the way here from my home to the airport in China, I use the taxi booking application from Tencent. Okay. It cost me, the taxi fare is roughly 20 CNY, because I live not far away from the airport. And then the application company subsidized 3 CNY for me and 5 CNY for the taxi driver. It's crazy, but of course it's a one-time promotion because it's creating more problems. It's perceived as not fair for those who are not using this kind of smartphones. Okay, so government are taking actions to intervene. But it's a good example that they're trying to, having a big ecosystem. So it's a competition between ecosystems. So in the coming years, I think broadband connectivity by itself is more or less a commodity. Customers no longer compare, which connectivity I'm using. Is that from StarHub or is that from Syntel? They will compare about, what kind of interesting content I have. How good is the quality? Okay. What kind of game I can play, and can I get extra, rewards because my gaming connectivity has less IP hops compared to other people. So this is a very interesting understanding of what's going on in other parts of the industry, right? And we're part of that industry. We're the foundation of all the broadband and internet innovations. We try to summarize a few potential monetization models. So the first one on the upper left-hand side is the basic, higher bandwidth, potentially higher revenue, but in many cases it's same monthly charge, but much higher revenue, much higher bandwidth. Now, in the BT case, it's basic bandwidth plus a sigma of different, more value-added applications. So in UK, probably it's sports. In Japan, it's probably about gaming. In the US, for example, AT&T, they have this home surveillance service. Okay. They offer subscribers extra package for home surveillance, for air conditioning control. You can add more and more to that list. So this is model number 2. Now another model is basic bandwidth plus a sigma of delta. Delta meaning optimization of user experiences through higher speed of download or higher speed of upload. If your subscriber is using iCloud from Apple every day, they likely will complain that my uplink is too slow. So here we're thinking about latency, right? Uplink, downlink, maybe other things as well. Number 4, sponsorship revenue model. Okay. So here nobody pays unless the sponsorship is coming here, right? They can pay the subscribers. So in my case, for the taxi ride, right, someone is paying me. So you could think about that. And then you could even subsidize your subscribers. You can So today in the mobile market, right, we see telcos offering iPhone 5S for free, provided that you subscribe for the next 2 years. But if you look at the market, very likely now a HD TV or even a 4K ultra high definition TV is not much more expensive compared to iPhones. Okay. Well, maybe in a few years. Okay. So you can consider even have the I don't know, the TV manufacturers to combine their offer with your offer. Right? In order to fulfill this kind of business model innovation, we do need some innovation in the network layer. First of all, of course, we need high-speed internet. We need super fast broadband, 100 meg or even 1 gig or 10 gig if you like it. Okay? And of course, at the backbone side, terabit link, 400 gig line card. In terms of the business model and monetization, there are 2 anchor points that we see in the market. One is smart home, okay? Because that's where you have the presence, you have the connection with the consumers. Okay? So in that area, you need probably an Android-based smart home gateway or smart ONT, where you can do more app installation, where you can do sponsored revenue if you have someone else pre-install the app there. So many, many interesting potentials. At the NG POP, okay, this is where we can virtualize a lot of functions, especially value-added functions. For example, if you have a smart ONT or smart home gateway with storage, okay, you probably only need to keep, let's say, 500 gig local storage physically, and then virtualize, 1 terabyte or even 10 terabytes as a virtualized network attached storage. Where would you put that virtualized resource? Very likely you put that in the NG POP. So here we're talking about the home gateway becoming more and more sophisticated in terms of functions, but they don't have to be very costly to implement. You could virtualize a lot of the functions in the NG POP site. Okay. So you still have a cheap, simple, physical home gateway device, but leave the technology implementation in central office. We believe copper is still good for the next 100 years. But I don't know what happens in 100 years because I'll be gone by that time. But copper is in there. It won't decay, and it's good. Okay. I think, especially recently, we are now putting a lot of investment into the next generation modulation algorithm and other technology innovations over copper technology. We believe for a long time it will be a combination of fiber and copper. Even with FTTH, okay, copper can help you to reduce the FTTH cost, because FTTH does not have to be to inside of the home. Okay. It could be to the gateway at home or at the closet on the wall outside the home. This can help us to reduce the cost of going inside the house or the home to do all the wiring. Okay. 400 gig high density router line card. Huawei is 1 year ahead of the competitors, including Cisco and Juniper, in providing you the most high density router in the world. Okay. We have seen a lot of commercial deployment now, and we have launched our 1 terabit high density router line card already. So this means in the next few years, we'll be ready to take up on the coming ultra-broadband traffic explosion. Okay. Of course, there are many, many tricks we can play. We can use CDN, we can use a combination of joint optimization covering both optical, IP, and CDN layer to help you optimize the traffic mix and optimize your cost. But still, we need to be ready in terms of technology capacity and capability to take care of the bandwidth demand that for the next 5 years. Okay, we're in there for you. So just try to summarize. FMC 2.0, FBB plus MBB plus content collaboration is the passport to a promising future. So the left-hand side is a picture from my kid's comic book, 3 pigs. Okay, so the practical pig built his home with bricks, right? So that's FMC 2.0. You need both FBB and MBB and content to build something that could sustain and to dance with the coming OTT wolves, okay, not to be eaten by them. Now, on the right-hand side, it's I would like to quote from Vittorio Colau from Vodafone Group CEO. That you cannot, of course, talk about strategy and the future about without talking about convergence. So everything should come together. Okay, FBB, MBB, complementary to each other, and then working together with the content side to monetize on the infrastructure that we're rolling out. Okay. Thank you very much.